All right. So, this is going to be the beginning part of the final chapter in our journey together in Visual Prowess FX Academy. This entire chapter is called Ascension. Now, you can imagine what ascension means. It means that we are going to another level. We are transcending higher and we are becoming greater in this process. And this isn't always. Now, I have this strategically set up in a specific order that we're going to cover all this stuff together. And I'm going to help you guys understand what it takes after all of the stuff that you guys have learned. You're going to all of the market reversal that you've learned. Now, what's going to happen is we are going to start the ascension process of really cultivating all of the different materials that you've learned and bringing them together into one. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is habits. So, everything that we just went through, I want to start this off. There's a book that I will want all of you guys to read in this. It's called The 10,000 Hour Rule by Phyllis Lane. It's the one with the ballerina on it. So if anyone, please don't text me because there's going to be hundreds of people trying to ask me that question. It's the 10,000 Hour Rules by Phyllis Lane with a ballerina on the front. Okay, that's something that all of you guys should go and read once you complete this academy, or as soon as you hear this video, start the book. I'm going to read something out of it that is very good, that she speaks about and has stuck with me. I read this book about 4 years ago, whenever I really was kind of like a couple years into building myself and getting ready to start my own company and doing all the different things that I've done so far. But it's the time plus practice equals destination formula. But time, okay? Once we come into this world, we are given a gift, and that is time. What it is that we do with that time on this earth brings us to the next factor, which is practice. What practice does is it leads us to our final point where we will all end up depending on what we do with our time. Destination. The last part, which is destination. The major destinations in our lives, right? All the different aspects that we have in our lives, which is health, wealth, relationships, spirituality, and mastery, right? In life, there is no neurological differences in the brain of the super talented. It all actually comes down to how much someone practices. Okay, so that definition, right? That's pretty much the definition in the book. But now I'm basically just going to speak from what I know and all the different things. Basically, the time plus practice equals destinations. Our practices are habits. Those are the things that we decide to do on a daily basis, right? So essentially, when I look at everything, I can look at someone's life, and they talk about this in the book, but as I've been on this journey for 7 years now, and I've developed the practices that I've had that have led to the habits that I have, I can see this as it is. And this might be the first time that you heard this, but when you look at someone, you can look at someone's daily habits, right? You can look at someone's spending habits. You can look at someone's relationship habits. You can see all these. It ends with habit, right? And that's the things that we essentially do on a day-to-day basis that basically become us. I can look at that and see it and basically tell where someone is going to be within a 5 to 10 year basis, depending on the things that do, if they never change anything, right? And so what I'm teaching you guys how to do here is I'm teaching you guys the proper trading habits needed in order to be successful in the market. Now you can choose to utilize them, or you can choose to not do shit with them. And you can go through the academy and it sounds awesome and great and it's so good and I feel so great when I do it. But if you never apply what I teach you, right? If you never apply what I teach you, then at the end of the day, you're not going to get anywhere with this. My teachings are great. I know they're great because I've done this for so long, and I actually, when I apply them, and it took me a while to apply all this stuff. I'm not saying that I immediately did it, but when I apply what I've learned and what I teach, it's on a whole new level of where it takes my trading, right? And so understanding time plus practice equals destination. And all it is it's 10,000 hours in order for you to master something. It usually takes about that long. Now, if you wanted to know, to master something, how many years would it take if you put it in trading, right? Now, realistically, I say between 7 to 10 hours a week is a really good amount of time, to put in, especially when a lot of you guys have jobs, and a lot of you guys have, families and different things like that. Putting that amount of time in is going to be very beneficial. Now, it takes about 1.5 hours a day for 20 years to put 10,000 hours in on something. So that's about 1.5 hours a day. Now, in doing so in trading, it doesn't mean that it's gonna take you 20 years to make any money in trading. I don't want you to think that. Like that's not what I mean whenever I say that. I'm basically giving you just a rough estimate of how many hours, and about 1.5 hours a day for 20 years, you become a master. But what I'm teaching you, what I'm showing you, you are going to be able to make money aside from that. You may not master it totally 100% completely, but you're going to be able to make livable income off of doing these things. I will be able to tell you that you'll be able to do those things out of this. So just giving you a rough estimate, and I mean, the more time that you put in, the better. It's not like it's going to be a bad thing. You don't want to totally consume yourself, but just putting in time, putting in consistent time, showing up on the elite zone, showing up on the Sunday session, showing up on the markets, and just being consistent. Many people talk about, and it's probably one of my favorite things when people start talking about, oh, I'm getting old or whatever. All it is it's just been literally, you've been mastering not good health habits. You've been practicing unhealthy eating, not working out, and not doing things necessary, which could be stretching, which could be going to the gym, which could be going to run, which could be eating the proper foods and feeding your body. And normally what begins to happen is you've been doing that from a little kid. But in people's mid to late 20s, they feel a lot different, especially when you start getting into your 30s. You start feeling different. But think about the equation I just gave you about the time plus practice equals destination. And think about when I said about 1.5 hours a day equivalates to, in 20 years, you mastering something. So when I talk about that, you're literally, why do you think it shows up in people's mid to late 20s? Why do you think people's bodies begin to shift and things begin to change so much? Because they've been doing it. Unless you were born into a family that really, really understands good eating, that really, really understands taking care of your body, then you're going to be, no matter how genetically great that you are, it will catch up to you. You're going to see time is either going to promote you or time is going to expose you. Okay? So understanding these things is so important. So when I tell you all the things that I tell you, and we begin this section, all the stuff that I gave you in the past, everything that I gave you in these videos works. It all works. But it's going to be the habits that you build in this section with trade management, with risk management, with drawdown management, with understanding what it takes in order to take yourself to the next level in trading. All these things that I'm about to give you. It's going to be the daily habits that you actually put in every single day that are going to help you get one step closer to being able to make consistent income off of this market. Again, I told you in the last webinar. What did I say in the last webinar? I literally said, now I didn't forget what I said and where I was going with this. Oh my Lord. About the ABC. Oh, about someone being able to you can literally master all of these different trading strategies that I gave you. And someone who literally has not only just mastered one strategy, but they mastered their mind and they mastered their habits. They are going to outtrade you on a 12-month basis every single time because they have the winning mindset that it takes in order to make money consistently in trading. You just know when you're supposed to buy and when you're supposed to sell, meaning all you did was you mastered reversal, but you did not master your mind. And that is extremely important in this, guys. So take this video. I reminded you everything essentially that I talked about in the psychology section. I touched on all the different things in the reversal section. And now this part right here is the Ascension section inside of trading. I taught you all about market reversal. I taught you all about psychology. But now these habits that I'm going to show you that you have to develop in trading to be successful, these are what's going to set you apart from a profitable trader to a non-profitable trader. I'm going to see you guys on the next video. Let's get ready for it.